like high school?
Oh, absolutely. So, like I said, we started the practice with stretching and flexing, and we go
Mm-hmm.
to the individual work, then
Mm-hmm.
we go to the group work. And for example, if we're doing individual work, I got the backs, quarterbacks
Mm-hmm.
doing one thing, handoffs, and running through their steps.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the linemen, getting their hands inside, driving their feet, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I got the skilled guys learning how to block,
Mm-hmm.
leverage,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll bring the group together and do inside drill, just like high school. We'll just
Wow.
take the
Okay.
inside, not the
Man.
perimeter, and
Mm-hmm.
then we'll go team and put on shimmies and
Right.
pennies and do a little scrimmage.
Right.
You have to do half line. So
Mm-hmm.
we're going to find out who's willing to compete and
Mm-hmm.
then continue to teach. Because my whole thing about coaching is just teaching.
It's teaching.
And
Exactly.
if you're not willing to teach, because people say, "Well, I can't coach kids that young. I can't coach kids that old." You can teach them. Yeah, I mean, the
Yeah.
kids want to. So they're just miniatures,
Mm-hmm.
and football is just repetition.
It's amazing that you say that because years ago when I first retired from the league, I started coaching my boys. Right, and I got 4
Right.
boys, and
Mm-hmm.
my oldest was like 5 years old at the time, and I coached them in soccer. I didn't know nothing about soccer, but I was coaching because I didn't like the way they were being coached. When you come from that Delray Rock culture,
Right.
you can't expect mediocre nowhere. And so
Right.
they were out there playing musical chairs, giving the kids candy. And I'm like, what?
Participation.
I'm like, dude, are you going to teach these kids anything? Now, so I signed up to be a coach for the soccer team. Eric, I ain't know nothing about no soccer, man. Matter of fact, I despised the game at the time, right?
I call it organized kickball.
Organized kickball. So what I did, my oldest son always liked those different sports, right? So he wanted to go down to a hockey match down in Atlanta, back in the old Omni, where they played basketball. And so I'm sitting there with him watching the hockey match. And as I'm watching the game, all of a sudden a light switch came on. I said, you know what? This game here is nothing more than fast break basketball. See, at Atlantic High School, we were small basketball, but we were a fast break team. So I go, man, all they're doing is putting the ball in the middle. They put the guys on the wings, and they're trying to get a 3-on-2, 3-on-1 situation, and they're making the pass. The quarterback is making the pass to the open person, right? And I go, you know what? I know what to do now, right? So I implemented that on my soccer team. We didn't lose a game for 4 seasons.
Bobby, guess what?
Uh-huh.
Guess what? Lacrosse is the same thing.
Is it really?
The point guard is behind the net.
Right.
And the 4 is up, and you just pass it and cut.
Oh, I love it.
Thing.
I love it.
And I learned that.
Well, here's the thing. Any sport with a basket on each end, you can use the same thing to get it going and be successful at it. Right. And so I learned that. And then they started playing basketball. I coached basketball for 12 years. And I coached all 4 of my boys. And to be honest with you, man, I had the time of my life. It was the best time of my life, being able to do that. And so.
Oh, I loved it.
Oh, man, it's not like it. And it's got to be for you, the beauty, coaching in Delray, is that one thing you do know. You may not know those kids, but the next year when you get a different group, you know you're going to have football talent.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Hands down. Hands down. That's one thing we got.
Next year I already know I got 2 Parkers coming up, 3.
Oh, 3 man. Hey, bro, you got it going on. Because there are some families in Delray that traditionally, these kids can ball. The Parker family,
absolutely.
The Cornelius family. I mean, we can go on and on and on.
Oh yeah, they're athletes.
Right.
I sat there and watched them on Saturday. The 6-year-olds,
mm-hmm.
and the two of the Parkers were just lighting it up, And Doug Parker was out there on the sideline, and Preston, and they're smiling, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, think about it. Every one of those Parkers in my generation, I don't know about Papa Parker, but I can tell you right now, Mike Parker, Mike was he was much older than me.
Yeah.
But I know he was a star running back at Boca.
Right.
And then of course Doug was 2 years ahead of me. So right. I had the privilege of scrimmaging against Doug on several occasions, right? When I was on the 105 team, right?
Right.
Him and Vince Strong, and then I played with Bernard, and then Thad, always played with Thad Parker as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the evolution of the next one, Mike, and then Preston, and all those guys that came up after them, man, played football at a high level. And Preston Parker, I gotta say this, man, he's he's a dog. Some guys are skilled, they can run fast, they can do things, but there's some guys that's football players, man. They were born to play the game of football.
You saw him at Florida State, how he was able to do it.
Man, I mean, he was an MVP as a sophomore, man. The football, it's like, man, this guy, he was special. He's a special talent. But look, man, let's get back to you, man. So you're coaching right now. You're giving back in the community. You've always been a community person, man. And,
absolutely.
And I thank God for men like you, because without men like you, we can't get it done. It's going to take great men to come out and to invest their time and their knowledge with the youth. And then one day they'll come back and they'll do the exact same thing you're doing, just like Bump Mitchell, right?
Right. Just like this year, I made it my mission. Mm-hmm. I have 9 coaches on the staff. I've never had that many ever.
Okay.
But most of the guys, they grew up through the Rock program, played high school ball either at Atlantic or Boca. But I was more in tune to getting mentors, because
there you go.
Bobby, 3 years ago, I had a team that went 14-0.
Wow.
We had 25 kids.
Wow.
But of the 25 kids, only 2 of the kids had mom and dad in the house.
That's tough. That's tough.
So when you're looking at that dynamics and you wonder why when those kids get to practice, I don't even talk to them about football. It's about their day.
Right.
How was school? Right. And I talk to them about spelling tests, and they want to hear that because no one's asking them that.
About it. Exactly.
And I know mom's doing the best she can, but when moms are showing up at the practice field and sitting around the fence, and where's dad, and and not judging anybody on any level, but it's just that I know it's necessary. Absolutely. So I got these men who are being mentors. I mean, last week we fed them spaghetti dinner. One of the coaches made spaghetti dinner for all the kids.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's awesome. just kind of like we call fellowshipping with the kids.
Right. Exactly.
I cut practice short. We're going to sit down and eat spaghetti and, and enjoy each other and put the football down. Right. Because sometimes when they get to us, we're the only men or positive that they're seeing. Because, in the schools, predominantly teachers, a female. And, so what men are they seeing in their lives that that doing positive things? So I try to make that something that we're doing.
Man, that's powerful, man. Hey, man, I can say this: that's a job well done, Eric. A job well done.
I appreciate it. And I'm training the rest to pick up the torch, because we don't know how long we got, but we know that work still has to be done.
Oh yeah, and it's continual, and the thing we can do, the best thing we can do is pass it on.
Oh, absolutely. Because you know what? Someone did it for us. And I always said that.
Absolutely.
There were dads there for me. And I think, teammates and people, thank you for sharing your dad.
Right. Absolutely.
Like I thank you for sharing your mom. I mean, you didn't know, but December, she did a lot for me at Boca High.
That's powerful, man.
Bring him in that office and they're like, oh, God, come on over here. Come on over here.
That's good, man. Because you know what, Eric, I can tell you this. My mother, is a special lady, right? And
absolutely.
All of our mothers are special to us, right?
Right.
But I can tell you a couple of things about my mom that just man, it's special. Like number one, I don't remember the last time she's called me by my name. Since I've been a little boy, she calls me champ, right? I'm her champ, right? And so I'm telling you, I can't remember when she said Bobby And you know she ain't gonna call me Robert ever, right?
Right.
I can't remember the last time she just said, Bobby, do this. It's always champ. It's always champ. And when I was a kid, when everybody would laugh at me, when I would tell them what I wanted to do with my life, she would always tell me, son, you can do anything you set your mind to do. Don't let nobody ever talk you out of what you want to do.
Right.
That's my mom, right? And so when I look at it, I had her, Larry Coffey, my best friend, was always a person. So I call them, they were my mastermind group, you know, because when I spoke with them, my dreams were okay, right? With them.
Okay.
Right? You know, I can remember, you know, being in the 5th grade, Ms. Lycurgus class, right?
Oh, I had her too.
I just had a moment not long ago when she would ask everybody what they wanted to be. When it came to me, I told her I wanted to play pro football. And she said, well, you're going to need a backup plan. The whole classroom burst out laughing, right? And then I was just going through some stuff upstairs not long ago, a few months ago. And I don't know if you remember, when after my first year in the league, they had a parade for me and called it Bobby Butler Day, right? Gave me the key to the city of Delray. It was a special moment for me. Now, it was so many people at Pompey Park, I can't remember everybody who was there. Right. So when I went through the book, everybody who signed in, I saw Grace Lycurgus' name there. And I go, because I thought she had passed, right? And I go, wow. Right. So she knew I made it, right? She knew that dream came true. So that was a moment for me. I was like, wow, okay, that's special right there. So, but you know,
I'm sure she was proud of you.
She was proud of me, no doubt about it. And she used to always tell me, because you know, I would get in trouble with my buddies, and you know, I got a lot of spankings at Spading. I'm gonna tell you that right now. And so a lot of them she gave me, and rightfully so. And rightfully right. So. But I learned so much from her. She was a great teacher. She was a lady who taught us more than just stuff in the classroom. She taught us about life, you know. And so she would always be my favorite elementary school teacher, hands down. But look, so let's talk about. All right, we talked a little bit about your coaching with the Delray Rocks, right? We talked about your brothers vaguely, right? Your whole family, how successful they are. So tell me about them two guys that you call your sons. Let's talk about them for a minute.
Oh boy. I tell you what, that is certainly a gift that I'm so blessed Amen. To have. And
Amen.
I mean, I was like you. I was there with them, those boys of mine. I was there at their birth. I cut the cords, both of them.
Amen. That's special. That's special.
I just thought that, you know, God gave me children and blessed me with boys. And twins did run in my family. Both my grandmothers had twin sisters.
Oh, wow.
And so I started out, you know, of course, I thought they were going to play for the Rocks, and things didn't work out for different reasons, but they started playing ball, and I started coaching because it was sort of like what you said earlier about the soccer. Right. I wanted to be coached the right way. I was more safety conscious than anything, especially
than anything. Right.
And but I wanted them to play baseball too. But you know, after T-ball, they thought it was quite boring that you know they didn't get the ball. And so football it was. And but as they started getting better at it, because I was teaching them the proper techniques, and I kind of took a sabbatical from high school to develop them, you know, in the game. Because I said,
right.
You know, if you're going to enjoy the game, you got to see success. In order to see success, you got to work at it.
Yeah, work at it.
I did have one of the twins that loved to practice, and the other one didn't. He was a game day guy. So, so they were quite the opposite. He didn't shine. You know, he was in his brother's background, and I said because he puts the work in.
Right.
And he was type A. Right. You know, I got to catch 100 balls in a row before I quit. If I drop 98, he got to start over. I mean, he just like that. And, you know, but they were the same way. They were driven, though. And they were the same way with academics. And then they became the same way in music. But the film watching started in Little League.
Wow.
And like I said, the test. So we watch film. They film the games on the CDs, and I give them tests of the opponent position that they're going to play in front of at their position.
Right.
What hand does he put on the ground? When he put his mouthpiece in, is he left-handed or right-handed?
Right.
I mean, they had to know everything about this kid.
Right.
That way they knew how to defeat him. If he was a receiver, does he tug on his glove to tighten up?
Right.
When they're getting ready to throw.
Right.
Or does he have his hands down when he's going to block or the play's not coming his way? Does he throw his hands up when he's getting ready to get into that route? Human beings are creatures of habit.
Of habit. There you go.
All you have to do is watch their habit. They're going to show you.
Hey, bro.
They're going to show you. It's just up to you if you're paying attention.
Right. It's a beautiful
thing.
So
that watching the film, that first step, when the quarterback looks away, he starts his cadence. He looks away. And I said, he's telling you to blitz me because I'm not looking back over here.
I'm not looking back over. That's right. There you go. Now you talking.
So little cues like that. And once they learned that, it compensated. They didn't have blazing speed or size, but they had the smarts.
Right.
And they were able to rise and get offers, all the Ivy Leagues, and one chose to play for Harvard, play safety for Harvard, and the other one chose to turn down football. He had a bad hamstring injury, went on to Florida, and he's doing well, has his own business, working for a big mega corporation, Computer Corp, out in Seattle, and they're both doing their thing as far as academics, and also they were jazz musicians. One of them was first chair All-State saxophonist, and the other one was all-county trumpet player. So I got the love of jazz for free. And James, my brother James T, he just loving it. They had Bruce Harris. I remember you had him on the show. He came over to hear him play.
Did he really?
Yeah. Bruce
that's big.
Like, I would love to play with them. And that was because Bruce Harris was the man,
Wow, that's big. That's big.
Yeah,
bro.
that was super.
Wow.
So, having an option and going into Boca High and graduating top 5 in the class.
Right.
Graduating with a 5.8 GPA out of 6,
Yeah.
So they really excel, but I always tell them they still got to pay it forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so they do a lot of volunteering and helping, because each one teach one,
Absolutely.
So, but as far as the joy and thrill of my life, those two boys, I mean, that was it. And that was the jackpot. Matter of fact, that's why my coaching career didn't go into the college ranks when I had opportunities.
Right.
Because I had to weigh the fact, that college coaching, people don't realize, boy, that's a carousel, and it's a business that you have no idea.
Well, Eric, you said it right there. That's the reason why I never accepted a coaching job, because when I retired, I was offered the Falcons' secondary job under June Jones in 1994. And, June and I go way back. Matter of fact, me and June, when I was a rookie, June was a backup quarterback with the Falcons. And so I turned it down because I couldn't do that to my family.
Right.
I just couldn't do it because, especially in that old day, bro, you never came home.
No. And was afraid to leave the office.
You can't leave the office. You could never go see your kids play Friday night.
No.
I mean, it's like, no, I can't do that. So as much as I love the game, I love them more. So
right. and that's what I had to weigh. And I said I was blessed to have them, and I'm not going to do this. So I turned it down, and I didn't look back. I was okay with it because what I experienced, nobody could get back. And I watched other friends that were coaches, and 2 years here, 2 years there, 2 years, and the kids are still in the other city. They don't even get to take them to school while they're trained because they have to wait till the school year's out. And they move into another state. So those kids move more than the military,
Exactly.
So that fractured home, and I didn't want that. for my young men.
Right,
I wanted to be there for them. So I had to make a choice, and I thought I made the best choice. I made the right choice.
There's no doubt about it, man. You put it this way, that investment you put in there, bro, listen, it has already paid dividends. Oh. And the beauty of it, it's going to keep paying dividends, bro.
Right.
That's awesome, man, because I love hearing about them. And, you know, I'm the guy, man, I love hearing about everybody from back home, man. When I left Delray was always in my heart. You know, I never stopped thinking about Delray, even to this day, man. You know, if I'm watching a game somewhere and I see a kid from Delray, I'm gonna stop and watch it, right? Matter of fact, the young lady who threw the shot put,
Ramsey,
she was born in Delray, moved to Boynton, but Delray, Boynton, same thing, right?
Man, did you play baseball at Pompey?
I never played baseball, Eric. It's the only
sport. Know, her grandfather used to be the umpire, John Ramsey.
That's a great. Oh,
yeah.
What?
That's Ricky Ramsey's daughter.
Yeah. Oh man, come on, man. See, I never put it together. I just talked with Bud Jones the other day, and he was telling me about her, and then I started following her just the other day, and so it's amazing, man. Man, listen, the athletic tradition and history in Delray is so long, so wide, it reached so far. You know, I shouldn't be surprised anymore.
Well, but it shows like this that brings that history up to the new generation, because just like when you had Bill Smith on, he was talking about how did the Rocks originate? Where did they come up with the name? You know, and I even looked up the military outfit that he got it from and their logo and the whole, because I didn't know that, because I remember, if you remember, and that's why I call the one group the Pebbles, because the first, in the early years, the little team was called the Pebbles.
Called the Pebbles, that's right.
And they had the uniforms like the Green Bay Packers, the gold pants. A lot of people don't remember that.
A lot of people don't remember that. I remember that, Eric. I remember
that. And they were called the Pebbles. So when I took over that little team, that's why I started calling the Pebbles, but nobody got that.
Nobody got it.
Because they were back in that era.
Oh, man. That's special, man. That's special.
That's why I said the Pebbles are running again.
Exactly. Hey, man, I'm going to be home real soon. I'm going to be home this month, man. I got to come see y'all play. You got to send me the schedule.
All right.
Your fall schedule.
You get a sideline pass.
Man.
I'll even let you call a few plays.
Oh, man, don't get me excited.
We'll get a Bobby Butler special. We call it B Square special.
Don't start that, man. Don't start that.
B Square special.
I'll be moving back down there. My wife, where you going? Hey, I want to go.
Hey.
Well, look, man. Hey, listen, man. We can talk all night, but I appreciate you, sharing your time with us tonight. Talking about Delray, talking about the Rocks, talking about your family. You know, we got strong history, man. You know, and like I say, and it's not going to stop. It's something. No. I don't know what it is. It must be something in the water. But, you know, for a long time, ever since they started Carver High Athletics in 1944, under Mr. Pompey, special things been going on in Delray.
Absolutely. Now, are you still doing your kids and cops? I mean, the kids and pros?
Matter of fact, yeah. You know, last year.
When you going to bring it to Delray?
We need to talk about it, man.
Bring that show to Delray.
Yeah, we ready. Matter of fact, we just got back. I was in Virginia's 2 weeks ago. Had like a 10-day stint from Carolina to Virginia, up to Maryland, up to Middletown, Maryland, and back. And we're going to Bozeman, Montana, the 17th of this month. And I'll be home the week after that. When I come back, I'll be in Delray the week after that.
Now, you know, my brother-in-law, Dr. Maloney, Lane's husband, loves when you come to Warner Robins.
Well, you know, he's a special dude, man.
He is.
Man, I love him, man. And, you know, we've had some great camps there in Warner Robins. As a matter of fact, we were there, a couple months ago. We always do our first camp there in Warner Robins, first week in June. Right. And so we were there. It's a smaller camp, you know, people just getting back out. And so it's almost like starting all over again. Hopefully this variant don't get too crazy where we're going to have to back up.
I know.
You know, I'm just hoping that we can see it through. And we're doing some other things now. We're, instead of camps and clinics, we're doing these little schools where we're taking kids who've never played football, who are interested, and we have like 20, 30 kids at the most, and we just teaching them the basic fundamentals.
Oh, I'd love to be a part of that.
Oh man,
because that's why I started out with the 6 and 7-year-olds, because that foundation is so important. Because I used to tease coaches when I would talk at a clinic.
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Do you know why so many kids play soccer now?"
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Because of poor football coaches."
That's right. That's right. That's right.
They leave the game because
of
how they're being treated or how they're being taught.
Right.
And, I said, so they decide not to play.
Right. Well, coaching, just like the game, there's an evolution to the game.
Absolutely.
When I first started playing the game years ago, Eric, and you can testify to this, football was about running the football.
Oh yeah.
You run the ball, you throw when you have to.
Right.
And so we always had great running backs. And
right.
And now the evolution of the game, I remember my 1984, it was 83 or 84, the Redskins started running a one-back set. 2 tight ends, put 1 tight end off the ball. They call him an H-back.
Right.
And they motion zing-zang that guy, and he'll block down on that nose guard. They open holes for John Riggins, right?
Right.
And then the evolution of that, they took that H-back out of the game on 3rd down and put a third receiver in the game. And defenses were still trying to guard that guy with linebacker.
With a linebacker, right.
And that guy was Ricky Sanders and then Billy Whiteshoes in Atlanta, because Dan Henning left Washington as offensive coordinator and started coaching us the one-back set. Billy Whiteshoes Johnson became NFL Comeback Player of the Year because linebackers were trying to cover him in the slot.
Right.
Listen, corners can't cover Billy Whiteshoes in the slot.
Right.
And you had he was just tearing the league up, right? And then you fast forward another year, June Jones and Mouse Davis came back and implemented the run and shoot in the National Football League in Houston.
Right.
And then Warren Moon came back from Canada and they blew that up. Four wides in the game the whole time. And the evolution of the game, now they're throwing the ball every time, pretty much.
Yeah, right? But it created the defense to the nickel and the dime.
Exactly. So hey, listen, think about that now.
Yeah.
When I was a rookie, this is no joke now. When I was a rookie, we had 3 corners on the roster. 1 backup for both corners. That's it. And then when the 3 wides to 4 wides come now, you start with 4 corners. Then you got 6 corners. Hey man, you got to have 6 to 8 corners on the roster now.
Yeah, because the safety, he's not covering the wide out.
He's not covering it. They can't play down there.
No.
It's a different game now. And so,
absolutely.
And part of the evolution of the game was why guys like me became a commodity in the early 80s. So back in the old days, you had Mel Blount just beating receivers up down the field, 6'4", 220 corner. Just beat them down the ground, down the field, man, right? And then because of that, they changed the bump and run rule. You can hit the guy 1 time in the first 5 yards. And then here you go, 5'10", 5'11 corners, 165, 180 pounds are needed in the game. And that helped me because there's no way, Eric, there's no way. I played college ball really well, but I only weighed 155 pounds when I was drafted. A lot of people don't know that. When I was at
that 4.2 helped though, right?
That was the thing. But I wore shoulder pads like that.
Right.
And when I was young, I was crazy. I run into somebody going 100 miles an hour, blow up plays, right? I learned that at Florida State, right? And so that got me in the game. But when I got in the game, I realized this is not college. This is not college. You can't do the things in this game that you do in college. And so you need that weight room, son. So then for the first time, I got serious about the weight room. But even with that, I've got my neck fused. They went in there and fused. I got C4, 5, 6, and 7 fused. I got I got an artificial left shoulder, right? All that stuff comes to territory. But the game evolved and, guys like me got a chance to play. And, now you look at a corner that's 5'11", 165 pounds. They don't even draft that kid no more.
No, you got to be 6'1".
Playing corner now, right?
Yeah.
And then and Eric, when I look at their skill level, I go, these guys can't backpedal, they can't weave, they can't turn and run. But that's not the game anymore.
No,
it's not the game anymore. So yeah, the bigger corner is a commodity. You know, Deion Sanders was a big corner.
Right.
A lot of people don't know how big Deion Sanders is, right?
I've seen him up close and watch him dunk basketballs.
Oh yeah, I mean the guy was bigger than all of us, man. He was 200 pounds, 6'2", right? You know, we've never seen a guy that and can outrun everybody. On top of that, yeah, he's a special guy. Well, look, Eric, man, appreciate your time, man. Bless you, man. Thank you for sharing a moment with us tonight. We'll do this again in the future, man. And I am coming home in a couple of weeks. I want
see you when you get home.
You'll see when I get home. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show tonight. 100 Yards of Football. I'm your host, Bobby Butler. We had the great Eric Davis from Delray on with us tonight. Thank you for the show. If you like it, comment and then share it with your friends so they can see this great show, Legends Interview with Eric Davis from Delray Beach. Thank you so much. Go Seminoles.